Guardiola's always been this kind of manager that probably overthinks things. You look at the way he behaves on the touchline. I always notice he's always thinking, he's always scratching his head. I feel football's going to kill him, literally. He might literally kill him.
It might just kill over. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Yahoo Footballing Weekly with me, Yahoo columnist Neil Humphreys.
And me, Yahoo editor Chia Keong. And today we have a new guest, football podcaster and Manchester United supporter, Rasvinder.
Hello guys, hello. It's an honor to be here with the two of you. Been watching your snippets of your episodes on TikTok, and it's appeared on Facebook, on Instagram, and I've seen a lot of familiar faces as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now I'm here joining the band.
Well done.
We're viral, man. I don't know what to say. our clips keep going viral week on week. And we thank you as always. Every week I start the show saying the same thing. But week on week, more comments, more views, more shares, more tweets.
Exactly.
Keep them coming. It keeps giving us a bit of hope. Speaking of hope, you see what I did there?
Yeah,
see the segue? See the segue?
Yeah, absolutely good at that, man.
Your mob, Liverpool, Man U. It's on, man. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's on. Race for the top fourth. What do you think?
Race for fourth, not a race for the title.
Right, you do Liverpool first. Go on. What do you think?
I mean, to be honest, for most of the fan base, about 1 or 2 months ago, they've not already given up on the Champions League spot. They will say just finish the season and see where we end up. We'll take any kind of European competition next season. Mm-hmm. That's fine. We've almost accepted that, and now we've been given a hint of hope again, and this is where it kills you, right? Yeah. You know that bit of hope that's saying, oh, we might just catch Manchester United for fourth spot, and then we get into a Champions League, and everything will be rosy again. But they are still have a game in hand. They are still a point ahead. They have the advantage. We don't. And then yes, while the race is technically it's on, but I still think that we'll end up fifth, and we'll take the Europa League in a way. But right now everybody's hopeful, and we're gonna beat Manchester United. That'll be the best thing that happened to our season. But
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's not the despair. Yeah. It's the hope. That kills you. I may disagree slightly on that, but Rasvinder, what do you think from Man U's perspective?
At the moment, it looked like we're stuttering, but I feel throughout the season, we've looked like a different side at home and a different side away from home. So
same with Liverpool.
Yeah, I've always felt like at home, we're like title challengers, but away from home, we're like relegation dwellers.
Yep.
That's how we are, and we look really tired in the last game. We've played a lot of games, but that should not be an excuse anyway. So Erik Ten Hag's always been on it that the players should not make it an excuse that they've had to play so many games, and it's a matter of mentality. It's just that now, it's just a matter of seeing it through. And I believe now they've got a week's rest before they play Wolves, and then a week's rest before they play Bournemouth. So hopefully that helps us.
Do you think their mental has gone a bit to the FA Cup final and maybe distracted by it or something?
I don't think it's the FA Cup final. I just feel they're struggling to cope with the workload.
Yeah.
All the many matches they've played, they're not used to it. Some players are, but not everyone is.
No, I'd agree with that. I mean, the weekend's defeat, that was United's 57th game of the season. They haven't got a big enough squad. It's a stretch squad.
That's true,
he clearly doesn't trust Harry Maguire at all. I mean, at this point, Luke Shaw could remove one of his limbs and he'd still get picked ahead of Harry Maguire. I thought Luke Shaw was actually quite poor in that game. I love him as a player. I think he's improved so much, but the centre-back, it's not his natural position. Wan-Bissaka is just seeing out the season, I think, until they find a replacement for him there. So Wan-Bissaka's an issue, centre-back is an issue. I'm still not convinced on Anthony. I still think he's a nearly man. I wrote the piece saying about it. He nearly scored. He nearly assisted. He nearly set up the winner. He's the nearly man at the moment of Manchester United.
He's got to find that finishing touch.
Yeah.
That's missing. That makes a difference as well. The last 2 games against Brighton and West Ham, we had chances. We didn't take them. And that's it. That cost us.
But I'll tell you why I'm loving it, as I wrote the piece for Yahoo, which is available on all Yahoo platforms, lest we forget. This is marvellous. From a purely objective, neutral standpoint, nothing gets the juices flowing in Singapore, in Southeast Asia, and globally the Man U and Liverpool hating each other. I'm there for it. I want it. Bring on the hate. Bring on the animosity. It's already started.
Yeah,
You've seen it on social media. Man U lost. Liverpool won. It's on.
It's on.
I'm
It's
loving it. And I'm loving it for two reasons. One, it's been a long, at times exhausting season. I want it to go out with a bit of a bang, a bit of a visceral, nasty, gritty flourish. I want that.
Yeah.
The second thing is, and I know it feels like sometimes I'm just here to tack on Manchester City. I am. No, I'm not.
I know what it's going to say.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
Yeah.
Manchester City
It's a procession.
cannot buy what Liverpool and Man U have. And we should take hope from that. We should. We're going to get to PSG shortly. PSG, Manchester United, City, their future owners. You can't buy the history, heritage, legacy, tribalism overnight. It takes time. And you're going to see now, you're going to see the emphasis shift from the title race to the race to the top four, because it involves the two biggest football clubs on the planet with real animosity. And it's priceless.
Yeah, and for that matter, Arsenal versus Spurs, Liverpool versus Everton, all these long-standing rivalries.
Yeah.
Not in the same league.
You that's the thing about, suddenly becoming dominant so quickly like Manchester City or even Chelsea in the last decade. There's no organic rivalry that you could grow from that. Suddenly you are just way ahead and then dominant and then nobody can beat you. Like, where's the drama?
Yeah.
And where's the, drama will get people attached to you, the romanticism of it. So
That's modern football.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, and it can't be manufactured.
Yeah.
That visceral hatred for Liverpool or Man U is passed proudly from father to son, mother to daughter. You pass the baton. You can't just buy $1 billion squad and say, follow us against everybody else. Yes, Manchester City, magnificent to watch. But as I said before, it feels like lately you're watching a Marvel movie. It's an industrial complex now. They're just consistently good in the way that Marvel movies, for the most part, are consistently good. But you want something else. You want to see something else. You want to be lifted by something else. And this Liverpool-Manchester United chase for the top four has come along at the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly.
The perfect time.
Just as we got Arsenal slumping and then we thought it's going to be a boring thing from the other sense. And then you suddenly got this Man U versus Liverpool thing going on, like, cool.
Although there was a moment in the Man City game, I watched it, when you could tell that Pep Guardiola was nervous.
Yeah.
You felt Sam Allardyce might do a Sam Allardyce. When it went to 2-1, and he missed a penalty just before.
Yeah. Oh,
He was not a happy man, Guardiola.
Squeaky bum.
Proper squeaky bum.
Guardiola's always been this kind of manager that probably overthinks things. You look at the way he behaves on the touchline. I always notice he's always thinking, he's always scratching his head. I feel football's going to kill him, literally. He might literally kill him.
It might just
Touch wood,
kill over.
Real Madrid might kill him coming up.
But, that's tonight. So that is Pep Guardiola. In all the time that I've watched United play, and Sir Alex Ferguson has never been that stressed out sitting on the touchline.
Yeah.
As Guardiola has been, so...
And still hasn't got that universal, or at least within the EPL, that universal acclaim that Ferguson had, whether you like him or not.
Maybe
he still wants it.
retires.
With the
After he
Champions
leaves
League,
now,
let's see. All right, let's get into it, you two. The Champions League, finishing in the top four, who needs it most? Make your case. Who needs it most, Liverpool or Man U?
United.
I would think United, because it's like validation of Eric Ten Hag's progress.
Yeah.
Liverpool, I think they have already made peace. Like I said, the fans, even the club has made peace. That
I'm not saying who wants it the most. Who do you think needs it the most?
I still say Man United. I mean, Liverpool, they have a strong goodwill. Fans will not be discouraged even if we don't get Champions League spots. And I think they have planned out who they want. Maybe they don't get Jude Bellingham, but I think they're gonna get some decent young players for that. So I don't think missing out on the Champions League would hurt the standing of Liverpool, just simply because in the past few seasons they have been doing well and people recognize that perhaps this season was just a blip. But for Manchester United, it's a validation of Eric Ten Hag's standing on European football, and then it might give them a bit more leeway to get more better players, I think.
At the risk of alienating Liverpool fans, I disagree on this one. I actually think Liverpool need it more. I think Jamie Carragher said this. You need a lot of players, Keong. You need at least 4 or 5 players to seriously compete again. You don't have the budget. The Fenway Sports Group is not going to spend, for all of the Glazers' faults, and there are many, they will spend if they think they're going to have a sale at the end of it anyway. They know they're going to make billions of pounds out of the sale. If Man U finish 5th, doesn't really affect the sale of the club, I don't think. Doesn't really affect the squad. It doesn't really affect Ten Hag's progress. I think 4th or 5th, he's done a good job. If he ends up with 2 trophies or even 1 trophy, good season. But from a financial standpoint, I really believe Liverpool need it. They need it. Look who they need. They need at least 1, if not 2 midfielders. Yeah. They need a central defender. They need possibly another striker. We're not just talking middling players here. We're talking 3, 4, maybe 5
top
quality players to challenge again, to challenge City and Newcastle and the rest next season. They haven't got the money. You're looking at 200 million for that, and they haven't got it. But if you agree or disagree, who needs the top 4 most? Liverpool, Man U, or West Ham? Let us know. Let us know. Just get
You forgot about Newcastle, actually.
We don't care about that. They're safe now. The Hammers are safe now. Let us know. Who needs the top 4 most? Send all of your comments to
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo
Actually, that's thanks
SG.
to us. You're safe.
We are safe, yes.
Yeah.
You interrupted his flow.
Sorry.
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
But I will say, you have got a point. I would just like to thank Manchester United again for doing what you always do with West Ham. You did it in 95 when you lost the title to West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh, at West Ham.
And West Ham,
You did it in 92. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there in 1992. Kenny Brown stuck one past Michael. So you lost the title at West Ham in 92. You lost the title at West Ham in 95. And you've possibly lost out on the Champions League. Thanks, boys. Right, moving on.
West Ham.
Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi at PSG. I know we don't usually talk about European leagues, but this has direct relevance, I believe, to the future of the English Premier League.
Yeah.
What do you think? Talk us through it.
It's just a mess and such a sad situation for Messi at PSG. This is a World Cup winner. This is one of the greatest players to have walked the earth ever. And here he is coming back to his club. And let's not forget, he was forced out of his previous club at Barcelona and he had no choice
but to go to
PSG, which the only club which probably could have paid his wages, Man City or whatever. But anyway, goes back, doesn't play that well. Understandable because he had just had a marvelous World Cup. Gets booed by the fans. And now he thought he has a promotion with Saudi Arabia authorities, and then he goes to do that extra promotion. And then just happens that, there was an extra training being held because they lost it over the weekend. And he skipped the training and he is now suspended by the club. This is a World Cup winner, greatest player, gonna suspended by the club for missing training. And then now he's saying that the club was willing to listen to offers and he might go to another team and probably might go to a Saudi team who can afford his wages. It's just a very sad situation, I feel. It's just both him and Ronaldo now being sort of like pawns for this Arabian states battle for supremacy,
But on that situation, I feel, don't you think Messi deserves it because he's an employee of the club? He needs to attend a training, and if he's not authorized to go for that Saudi trip, then he goes against the club's wishes, then you would, of course, face some reprimand.
No issue with that. I agree with you 100%. I mean, there was a few technical things. They lost the game, so the coach called them back in for extra training. He thought he had the day off, so he went to fulfill his obligations to Saudi Arabia. But I still think you're right. I think Messi has allowed himself, some say very smartly, he's literally playing one side off the other. He's effectively spent 2 years preparing for the World Cup in a one-team league, being paid for by the Qataris to essentially train
to win in Qatar. And then, get the big hug at the end and put on the ceremonial robes and so on. You can almost see him saying, thanks, guys. Now I'll go with the Saudis. He's almost playing one off the other. But to your point,
again, we say this line every week on the show, but Man U fans, really, if this is not a warning, I don't know what is. You know, be careful what you wish for, because this is a three-way battle going on right now between Abu Dhabi, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. They are using elite football as a political exercise. They are literally kicking this hot potato of elite football around, back and forth, to try to develop their soft power, develop their PR resonance in the region. And don't say it didn't work, because it did. Look at Qatar. It did work. Despite all the previous concerns about Qatar, it worked. And now they've seen what a success the Qatari World Cup was. There'll be no stopping. And Abu Dhabi with Man City. There'll be no stopping Saudi Arabia now. They're already talking about paying him a ludicrous, obscene £350 million deal a year. I mean, that's obscene levels of money now to pay an individual. If they can do it with Messi, if they can do it with Ronaldo, why can't they do it with Manchester United? You seriously risk just becoming a political pawn. No more, no less. How do you feel about that?
What I would say is that in the first place, I feel whoever it is, whether it's the English FA or the French League, they should have put a stop to it when this takeover bid was done. Now it's probably a bit too late. It's probably looks like at this point of time, the only way to challenge teams like City and PSG is also to get another Arab owner bankrolling a team, which is a problem, which you've mentioned. It is a problem, but it looks like that's the way of modern football now. So unless something happens where, probably all the footballing authorities get together and say, put a stop to this and say, okay, this is not allowed anymore, put a cap, something like that, this will continue to go on. This is probably going to be the reality of football now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just look at clubs like Man U, Manchester City, Chelsea, and I just think, where's your dignity? Look at West Ham. They are owned by people who made their money from pornography. Where's your dignity? Couple of porn barons. That's what you need running your clubs.
Yeah, but coming back to players themselves, it's so sad that now Mbappe, Neymar people have been protesting in front of his.
He's become yesterday's news now.
They are players whom we used to think they are the best players in the world, and then they are trapped inside this soulless club, who can sleepwalk through their league, and then still couldn't buy a Champions League win. For that matter, it's just a very same with Man City. Unless they win it this season, it's just
This could happen in other leagues as well. Maybe not the Bundesliga, but maybe Serie A could happen somewhere. There's some club in Serie A could be bought over.
It's possible, except that the EPL will always have the advantage of language. That's why the EPL, sort of literally translates so well into Africa and Asia, because it's that shared language of English. That's why, despite years of trying, La Liga, Serie A has never really established a cultural foothold. They've tried in this part of the world, the Bundesliga as well, because the language factor. And as long as that's the case, your Middle Eastern oligarchs are going to keep looking at English clubs as vehicles to get, to boost their soft power. Anyway, as always, let us know what you think. Speaking of very soft power, let's wrap it up with a relegation battle. Who's going down?
I don't know.
Who knows?
This morning when Everton just beat Brighton 5-1.
Amazing.
Forest beat Southampton 4-3. And all of a sudden, those two have climbed out of the relegation zone. And now Leeds and Leicester
got beaten, didn't they?
Yeah, Leicester got beaten by Fulham.
5-3.
Now both of them dropped. Leeds and Leicester have dropped. So, this four clubs have been keep swapping places.
Musical chairs.
Southampton, I think, more or less are doomed.
But I mean, I saw Gary Lineker's tweet. He was talking specifically about his beloved Leicester, saying, this is why, looking at other clubs, you don't always have to sack your manager. He was using West Ham as an example. Yes, that's a good example of being faithful to your manager. Who would the other one be? There's not many. I suppose Gary O'Neill's done a good job. He's been there for most of the season. But then the flip side, you'd also have to say Roy Hodgson has done a remarkable job at Crystal Palace, turning it round.
And Sean Dyche, if he
pulls off a... So I just think you can't generalise. It's a club-by-club situation. Some will stay up, some will go down. I don't know. All right, let's go down the line. Who's staying up? Who's going down?
I just, in any case, it's a set end for these four clubs are generally quite well respected.
Leicester will be very sad.
known. Leicester, even Everton, Forest are all very established names, established brands in the Premier League. But sometimes when you chase, I think Everton and Leeds, when they chase like glory, trying to be among the top, and then you don't have you have bad management, you have bad judgment,
good foundation.
Bad foundation, and that's where everything falls, just like a deck of cards like that.
Of all of those teams, I think Leicester will be the saddest for me,
Yes.
just because it's still the greatest, not just football, the greatest sports story I've seen in my lifetime, and I'm not sure it can ever be repeated, replicated again.
Yeah.
That'll be sad, and also the circumstances. The father died, the son took over, and to your point, it's a very good point. An old traditional Thai billionaire is no longer enough it's not enough. He's almost a pauper. A Roman Abramovich today
it's not enough.
is a relative pauper. That's just where we are. So when you've got Asian billionaires who can't compete, that's an indictment of where we are. But okay, let's go down the list. Who's going down for you?
Southampton, definitely.
Yep.
Leeds, maybe, because their defense just cannot make it. I hope Everton, but
Spoken like a true scouser. What about you, Raz?
Southampton, yes. Leeds and Leicester. I think Leicester.
Leicester is quite sad.
You've got the same three as me. It would be very sad if Leicester go down, but I actually agree with Lineker on this one. I don't think it benefited
about
from
Forest
them
now?
changing.
Forest.
I think they'll just hang on.
just hang on.
They've spent
Forest
so
is
much
good,
money on their squad.
They've got 1 million players.
Literally 1 million. They spent 160 million on them.
But good for them, they beat Southampton and
Yeah,
kept
I think they'll
themselves
sneak it.
alive.
The only thing, I looked at the fixtures. Leeds, I thought there'd be a Sam Allardyce bump. And they were defensively more solid against City. But you look at their last 3 fixtures, they're the ones that stand out for me. Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Just 3 really hard fixtures. And you've got to at least win one of them. And I'm not sure. Even a draw won't be enough. But as always, let us know what you think. Which are the 3 teams going down? Send all your comments too.
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
Brilliant. Thanks as always. Thank you, Rasvinder.
Welcome.
Brilliant. And we'll stay with us because we'll be back soon for part 2, where this young man will get stuck into A, Singapore football, B, the SEA Games, and 3, why he is personally changing local football for the better with a league for domestic helpers. Fantastic stuff. See you soon in part 2.